What's going on, guys? Welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. This week has been a huge self-reflection week for me, and I just wanted to share what I've learned in terms of what I think a lot of us are struggling with, and that is just having unrealistic expectations for ourselves and our own lives in the way that everything is supposed to go. If I'm looking back when I was constantly wanting to implement these skills, watching all these classes and YouTube videos about improving myself, it was honestly when I was still depressed. And when I started implementing these skills, I felt myself getting better. And this is great to work on your mental health and improving yourself every single day as best you can. But doing all of this put me into this really exhausting loop of never being good enough. I remembered reading this quote at the time, which changed my life. And it is, the only person you should compare yourself to is the person that you were yesterday. And I truly believe that. But when you're going about life like that, when you're trying to always improve yourself from the day before, that's why our brains are so focused on the fact that healing should be linear, right? It should always constantly be going up. And when you're not in those phases where you are going up and you're going down instead, you feel like all the progress went out the window and that you really didn't improve yourself. Like, I understand at a fundamental level that healing is not linear, okay? But as you're constantly reading these books, you're journaling, you're doing all the things that you're supposed to do to feel better, you can't help but feel like healing is linear. I think of life as this roller coaster, and I think that everyone has their own roller coaster, and that the universe, God, whoever the higher power is giving you those twists and turns in your life so that you can learn some sort of lesson or lessons along the way, specific to you and your soul. And as I was reflecting on this, it really came down to the fact that I really didn't know what I wanted to do or where I wanted to be right now. And I was ultimately setting these unrealistic goals for myself so far into the future that I just felt like I could never get there. And that was causing me to have this anxiety, paralyzed to the point where I didn't want to do anything anymore. And everything started looking really dull again. Kind of like depression was hitting me. And I'm constantly wavering over this line of being fine and then wavering into depression because of how helpless I felt. But what we don't realize is that when we push all of the feelings down, it amplifies, and then it makes us feel like we're not good enough, even when we get there, because we haven't dealt with those underlying emotions of not feeling good enough. The times where I was putting my self-worth into outcomes in life, of getting that job, of being in the relationship, and I didn't get that, or it didn't go the way that I expected, that's when the negative feelings set in. And it's like when we build up these expectations for ourselves, it's like, dude, who am I even doing this for? Am I doing it for other people, or am I actually wanting to do it for myself? Because if I'm really doing it for myself, I feel pretty crappy, and I don't think life is supposed to be like this. If we just take a step back and slow down, we could see that even with the bad times in our life, there's always a really good lesson that comes out of it. We needed those bad lessons or those painful lessons for us to build ourselves and improve ourselves in our own relationships, in our experiences, so that we can move forward in life. And we needed those experiences. They're not technically bad. We're making it bad from thinking that they're bad, you know? And so I guess this is my PSA, to take a step back, to slow down and reassess where you want to go, but also let go of the control. When we accept that we know there are going to be lows, instead of being oblivious to it when it comes and thinking that, oh my gosh, life is just fucking me up right now. Again, why does this always happen? When we have that mindset, it's gonna bring us down. But if we are aware that there are the downs and we just have to ride it out, we could then appreciate the ups when they come. And in doing all of that, we're able to let go, and life will get much easier. So that is it for my self-reflection. I hope that all made sense. But thank you so much for listening to me and for getting to the end of this video. If you're interested and you feel like you need more help on getting through those lows of life, go ahead and click on one of these videos where I'll go ahead and talk about how to get through those more negative emotions. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!